Hi, good morning, everyone. Apologies for being late. I have obviously have been in shul, just come back. We finished half an hour late. Beautiful service, beautiful davening, but obviously it means it's difficult for me to be in two places at once, despite my best efforts. But we're here now, we're all together. So let's make a start and try and do this. Hold on the phone. Okay. Almost had an accident trying to get back for you. Okay, so the Mishnah, so today's learning is dedicated in memory of Leah Bas Bible, Rabbi Yaakov Tzvi, David Aryeh, Tzipora Fegela, Bas Reuven Baruch, Paul Kazimir, Shalom ben Eli ben Bas Bible, from Shoshana Bas Yaakov Shmuel, Kayla Bela Bas Henach, Yochia ben Moshe Eliezer, Sarah Malka Bas ben Yomin, Shlomo Yechiel ben Yeshua Levi, Abba Mordechai ben Moshe Katna, and Aryeh ben Shimon. Wish all the families long life, and a reminder that on Monday, being a bank holiday, like Monday being a bank holiday, not Sunday. Sunday's Yom Tov. Monday will be at 9:30 a.m. Mishnah says as follows: two fascinating Mishnahs I want to learn with you, and it goes as follows. There are. Yesterday we did about the characteristics, the character traits for a person, right? So we spoke about a person who's slow. So let's go on to this Mishnah. We won't summarize what we did already. Abba midos ba'adam. There are four character traits in a person. Sheli, v'sheli, v'shacha, shelach. A person says what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours. Okay? Now, is that a good midah trait? Is that a good characteristic? Somebody says, what I've got is mine and what you've got is yours. And let's keep it that way, right? I'm not interested in taking anything from you. I don't need anything from you. You're self-sufficient. I'm self-sufficient. Is that the right attitude? Okay. So says the Mishnah, Zu mida beinonis. This is an average characteristic. And then the Mishnah goes on to say something quite astounding. Listen to this, friends. The Yesh Omrim, there are some that say that when I come along and I have this mindset that what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours, that is a Midas Sodom. Now we know Sodom was a place of complete institutionalized wickedness, evil incarnate, and I always was puzzled by this. What's the problem with this Mishnah? I ask you. Good morning. Sorry, let's just see who's here. If I can, hold on. I'm doing it on my phone, balancing. Caroline, good morning, Peter. Whoops, sorry, didn't mean to put you on screen. Mervyn, Peter, Harry, good morning to you all, amongst many others. So what's wrong, Mervyn, with the following? A person comes along and says, what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. You keep what's yours, I'll keep what's mine, now leave me alone. Right? The answer is because that's not the purpose of life. The purpose of life is that we are meant to be givers, not takers. We come into this world, a baby comes in, for anyone that has grandchildren or even remember their children, with clenched fists. We leave this world and we leave it with open hands. The Chevra Kadisha makes sure that when we leave this world, we don't have any pockets, we have our hands open, which is signifying the fact that this world, we cannot take anything with us. We are net givers, hopefully, at the end of our lives rather than takers. And this is the exact opposite. I'll keep what's mine. I'm not going to share it with you, whereas you will keep what's yours. That's not the approach of life. We are meant to look for any and every opportunity to share and to give to other people. Let's go on with the next part of the Mishnah. It's a fascinating insight, isn't it? You may say, well, I'm living in a neighborhood, everyone seems self-sufficient, they don't need it. Again, let's remind ourselves, Harry, of the difference between charity on the one hand and chesed on the other, acts of loving kindness on the other. What is the difference? Anyone remember? The difference is, yes, you found me, Estelle. I'm actually in the same place, look, same place as always, but I've just been running around today, but I'm here now, okay? Sorry, I could have done it 6:45, but I thought that would be a bit early on a bank holiday and we'd have rioting and civil war. The last thing we need. Okay. Yes, Mervyn, religious books. Yeah, you can be buried with religious books, but you can't take your possessions with you. In other words, although they may be put into the ground, they don't, when you go to heaven, when you go to the next world, the Gan Eden, you're not going to have anything with you. That's why you have empty, open hands. So again, the whole idea is to be givers rather than takers. Charity, on the one hand, is doing what is incumbent and obligated on us. It's fulfilling our societal responsibilities. The Almighty made it so that there are some people that have more than others, so that we are all inextricably bound one to another. And I have a duty to tithe my money, to give a tenth. That's my responsibility. However, that is what is, you know, it's a tithe, it's a tax, it's what we're meant to give. But there is chesed. Chesed is where I'm doing something not because someone needs it, not because of a charity case, but because I want to give to someone else. So I come round when we're allowed to go round to people, and I come round to Rachel and I bring her a cake. She doesn't need my cake, right? The same way Harry doesn't need my kirchels. But the reason why I do it is because I want to give. I'm overflowing with bountiful love towards the whole community, to each and every one of you. Not because you need it. You don't need the object. Rabbi Mervis, Chief Rabbi Mervis, always says that there are 7 words. It's interesting. He points out, if you have a look, he made this sermon during the snow many years ago when everyone was stuck on the motorway and North Circular. Anyways, he notes that there are, in the Eskimos have, I think it's like 30 words for snow, which reflect the different types of snow, because they are so into snow. It's such an important, integral part of their lives. We have snow, okay? It's heavy snowing, it's light snowing, but we don't have different words for it. Whereas when it comes to the act of giving, we have 7 different words. We have Amatona, we have Nadava, we have Yishai, right? We have Tzedakah, we have all different words, Mincha, right? We have all different words which reflect how important and central giving is in Judaism, okay? And therefore, we have to ensure that we differentiate and recognize that even if I have everything that I need, and you have everything that you need, that doesn't stop me wanting to be a giver. I still am always looking for opportunities to help someone, to give of my time, to give of my resources, to give free advice, whatever it may be. Let's move on. A person in the next level, a person says, Sheli shalach, v'shelacha sheli. What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine. This person's an Amoritz, says the Mishnah, not me. Okay, the Mishnah. Why is this person considered an ignoramus? Harry, any ideas? The answer is because a person, you're not meant to be a doormat. If the Almighty bestowed his blessings on you, if you have been blessed, if he showered his blessings on you so that you have things, right? We're not meant to live an aesthetic life devoid of any physicality, any material wealth. The fact that we've got it, we see it as a blessing to be utilized and channeled in the right way. So that such a person who just wants to be devoid of anything physical in his life, that person is an Amaritz, is an ignoramus. He doesn't understand the purpose of life and of having things. They're a means to an end. Shelish v'shalach v'shalcha shalach. What's mine is yours. What's yours is yours. Is a chosed. Okay? Now, what's the difference between this and the previous one? A person in the previous level, we said, was an ignoramus. He was an idiot, right? He says, what's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine, right? So if I say, if I've been given something, right, then initially it's for me, but it's for me to also utilize and to give to other people. But what's yours, right? I can't say that's mine. It's primarily for your use. That's why God gave it to you. If God wanted me to have what you've got, he would have given it to me. That's why he's considered an ignoramus. Whereas here, a person is considered a chassid, a very pious person, if they says, what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. My home is open, right? Like under the chuppah, remember that? Open on all sides, right? What's mine is yours. It doesn't mean I'm going to be a doormat, but it means I'm willing to share whatever I have. Nothing is off limits, as opposed to the Sodom mentality, which is that everything that's mine is only for me. This attitude is, I want to share it. I want to care. I want to look after other people. Again, it doesn't mean that you have to relinquish and give up everything that you have. quite the opposite. We're meant to use what we have primarily to ensure that we have, we create beautiful Jewish homes with Jewish values, and we are able to clothe our kids and families and bring them up and put food on the table and everything else. But it's not exclusively for us. We have to always be thinking of those other people, not just those that are less fortunate than ourselves, but even those that are fortunate, even those other people, for example, that, as we already mentioned, they have everything. But you know what? I got to tell you, I took over something to someone not a long time ago, and the person has plenty. But the fact that I thought about the other person, right? And I'm sure we've all done this, it's nothing special, but the fact that I thought about them, it's the little things in life, not the big things, that make a profound impact on other people and on this world. So conversely, a person who says, what's yours is mine, what's mine is mine, that person is a wicked person. Okay, so basically this Mishnah, we were going to do two, we'll only have time for one, is saying a absolutely fundamental idea. This is the cornerstone of what it means to be Jewish and to have the right perspective to wealth, to amassing wealth, and to living life, a well-balanced life, a good life, right? How do we know? You know, it's very scary. We get older, we get grayer, as my kids keep pointing out, getting white, not grayer, getting whiter. And we wonder, well, what am I doing? You know, what am I actually accomplishing and achieving? Is there any point to what I'm doing? And the answer is that if we have our priorities lined up, if we have a clear vision, a cogent picture of what we are trying to achieve, and that we are living lives of meaning, of fulfillment, of purpose, then everything and anything we do, it matters, it counts, it makes a difference. You know, I have to tell you something. I'll share with you a little. I shouldn't really share of myself, but you know what? Why not? So yesterday the kids were driving me, being wonderful, and so we decided to go to take them out, even though it was freezing cold. I noticed that it was, I think, 11 degrees in London, but it was 13 degrees in Cambridge. So I had this brilliant idea, this genius idea to go to Cambridge and to take my kids punting. So anyways, so we were punting down the lake, and at the moment, to go punting with all the COVID restrictions, you're not allowed to punt yourself. So we were privileged to go to Scholars Punting. I don't know if you've been there, and to have Tom, a young man, wonderful. If you're listening, Tom, lovely to have you yesterday. And Tom was lived in Cambridge, brought up in Cambridge, and for 4 years he's been punting. And anyways, on the way to I got to tell you, the way that they punt and the way that I punt is very different. Right? Have you ever seen Jews that are punting? They've got the matzah in one hand, the punt in the other hand, and they're sitting in the middle, completely the wrong direction. The boat doesn't move. Everyone's screaming and shouting. And there's matzahs all over in the water. This guy, he went in a straight line all the way up, all the way down. It was like a cruise liner, and then he did not deviate, did not go off course once. Anyways, amazing. So he was saying, each college that we went past, he gave us the history, the background of the building and the architecture. And I'm sure you've all had this, I'm boring you, but he mentioned, and here was, Stephen Hawkins, here was Sir Isaac Newton, right? Here was David Attenborough. And each of the people that he pointed out, he said, isn't it incredible that Cambridge has produced, and this is I'm sure it's also with many other universities, but he said Cambridge has produced from these colleges some of the greatest minds that have had a profound impact on civilization and have contributed so much. And it's the second part of that phrase, friends, that is all about what we just learned this morning, because there are many brilliant minds. We've all been given gifts, blessings in our lives. It's what we do with it, what we contribute, what we give back. That is how we're going to be remembered. Okay, so it's funny, we always, we're going to 4 o'clock today, we have a Zoom Yizkor. When we think about people and we think about generations gone by, our parents, our grandparents, which is what we are going to do, think about what we remember them. We remember their characters, but also it's the things that they did, the charity that they gave, the kindness that they shared with other people. These are the things that are lasting. This is their legacy. And this is what we perpetuate and we continue through following in their ways. So I think that's a wonderful idea for us to take into Yontov and to take into Yizka. We're going to now conclude with Psalm 23, followed by memorial prayer. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He causes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even as I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You set a table before me in the presence of my adversaries. You anointed my head with oil, my cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord for the length of days. Memorial prayer. Adon Elamim Zachares Nishmos Lebas Bible Binyamin Akiva Ben Shlomo Rav Yaakov Tzvi David Aryeh to Parafega Lebas Baruch Hu Kasmei Shalom Ben Eleli Ben Lebas Bible from Moshe Shalom Yaakov Shmuel Caleb Ben Lebas Hinach Ben Yochia Ben Moshe Eliezer Sarah Malka Bas Ben Yom Shlomo Yochia Ben Yeshua Levi Ma'avram Mordechai Ben Moshe Katna Ari Ben Shimon Shalach Ulinamam Began Eden Taimenuch Al Sam Lachin Balarachamim Yasirein Beseisa Kanabal Elamim V'yetzvazach Adna Nachlasam Yanuchu V'Shem V'Yanuchu Mishkavam B'Shalom V'Nomar Amen. Slightly longer than usual. Apologies for the lateness. I actually hit the curb on the way coming up the road because I was trying to keep the StreamYard going. So it's already been quite an adventurous day. Probably ruined my tire. All for you guys. I hope you appreciate it. Going out on a limb or on a tire for you. In the meantime, we wish you a Chag Sameach, a Shabbat Shalom. Obviously, there's no Kabbalat Shabbat because there isn't one Chol Hamoed Pesach, but there is 4 o'clock Yizka, and then we look forward to going into Yontov and then continuing with our programs. And in particular, I draw to your attention an incredible personality that Gila and I will be interviewing in just a couple of weeks' time, called Jimmy Gittins, rugby league player who suffered a near fatal injury that transformed his life and the lives of those around him. An extraordinary man with an extraordinary story. We are very privileged to have this event kindly sponsored, and we are looking forward to interviewing him. Don't miss it, along with all the other events. In the meantime, take care. Chag Sameach. See you at 4 o'clock for Yizka. All the very best. Take care, guys.